Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 46 of my social isolation get ready with me's. Today I had a bit of an idea that I wanted to play off actually the nail polish that I'm wearing. And it's kind of hard to see because the lights are so bright, but it's a white base with like iridescent flecks on it. It's the, what do I have? Well, first of all, as a base I have the Beyond the Nail bright white polish. And then I have OPI's all of Twitter and glitter on top. And I liked the effect of this nail polish and I wanted to try to do something a little bit similar on my eyes. I have an idea, I don't really know how it's going to work out, but we're going to try to make it happen. And for it I'm going to be using the NYX Ultimate Palette. This is the Brights version. I love this palette so much. I tend to use it quite a bit as like crease or transition colors. I don't always necessarily just use it as a strict palette on my eyes, so that's what I'm going to try to do today. I have to admit I don't have any notes for this past week on what to talk about, so I'm kind of winging it, which makes me a little bit nervous because it's not like, you know, a lot of fun things are happening lately. Let's see. What did I start doing this week? Oh yeah, I started, this past week rather, I started doing the Jillian Michaels workout DVD that I mentioned in my haul. It's a 30-day shred. It's a really old DVD. It's like from 2008. So it's one of her first workout DVDs to my knowledge. I had done it quite a bit, roughly 9 to 10 years ago, and I know I really liked it. So I bought it again recently because before I only had like ripped files from the internet. And I did the first one and expectedly, I knew it was gonna happen. I was so sore in new and exciting places. And yeah, so I was like, okay, well at least I know it's working. But dang, when you're so used to like weightlifting, granted 10 months ago, you don't expect to be sore from like 5-pound dumbbells. But yeah, I did that. Done it probably 2 or 3 times by now, and you definitely get stronger quite quickly, but whoo smokes, I've never said that before in my life. Holy smokes, it's tough. Okay, so what I want to do first is take my lid shade, which is a little bit different for me. And this is the shade Vellum by MAC. I have had several pans of this over the years. I don't feel like the consistency is as good as it used to be. It's kind of this white shade that goes on with an iridescent blue-purple shift. I have found over the years that the shift in the newer formulations just isn't as strong as they were back in like 98. Frankly. But now that I've said that, I'm actually seeing a little bit of it showing up on camera, which is good because that's what I want. If you see any glitter flecks all over my eyes, it's because I was trying something before I did this video to see if it would work. And I'm still not sure on how it's going to work out, but those glitter flecks were hard to get off my face. Okay, so I'm just covering the whole lid with Vellum. They actually used to make this in a massive pan back in the late 90s. It was like a 3-gram pan. Now they're all like, is it 2.5? No, 1.5. Half the size. And I went through that entire thing, and I'm pretty sure I went through a second one a bit as well. It was my like one of my favorite MAC eyeshadows. Okay, you can actually see some of the tint. That's making me happy. Okay, good. Now I'm going to start in with the NYX Brights Palette. And I'm going to start off with the purple shade here. They have no name, so I'm going to have to point to it. So in the nail polish, which, again, a little bit hard to see, there's like teal, purple, and a little bit of green. So that's what I'm trying to replicate on my eyes. So I'm going to start with the purple here. And I'm going to take that through my crease. That is really strong. Okay, wiping it off of my paper towel in front of me. Take the purple first, and I'm putting that through the crease. And I'm doing my best not to apply too much because generally I tend to be quite heavy-handed with eyeshadow, and I want this to try to be a bit of a softer look, just to make it a little bit more like fairy lights. Kind of honestly a little bit like what's going on in my background here, but I do tend to overdo it at times, so I don't know how successful I'm going to be. Okay, next I'm going to take this more blue-toned shade here, and I'm going to put that right there. That's not sticking very well with this brush. Okay, changing it up, going to my MAC 239, which never fails me. pack that, yeah, there we go. Pack that on right there. And then beside the blue, I want to take the green down here, and I'm going to use the same brush, just flip it over, so I can try to blend between the two, and put that right there. And because the purple's not really blending that well into the blue, based on how I applied it, I'm just going to go back in with the purple and reapply it there. Get a better blend. This may have worked better as like a cut crease type thing, like if I'd actually cut out the crease with, or the lid rather, with concealer, but I kind of want to try a different shape on my eye, different color placement. Not sure if I'm in love with it yet, but hey, it's nice to try something new. For my brow bone highlight shade, I'm just going in with my Wet n Wild Brulee single. Okay, I'm gonna have to do the rest of the face before I can continue with the eyes because I want to use some actual glitter stuff, but I'm gonna kind of like drag it around, so I gotta do my foundation first. Okay, so for foundation, I'm just using my Inglot Beautifier Tinted Cream. So I started playing a new video game on the Switch over the weekend. It's called, I think it's a sequel. It's called Ori, and I think The Will of the Wisp. I'm not entirely sure. It's a platformer. I did not play the first version of the game, but my friend started playing it, and he was saying about how pretty it was, and he sent me a few screenshots of it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I want to play that game. So I picked it up, and it's been really enjoyable playing it. I haven't played a platformer game in a long time, because I've been so into WoW and then Final Fantasy as well. So it's kind of fun to just put on a little bit of a brainless platformer, right? Because he's like, I don't know, reminds me of like Donkey Kong kind of thing. Donkey Kong Country, I was damn good at that game, okay? The Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country, very good, and I'm still good at it. So it's been fun playing that, and the graphics are just beautiful. It's very ethereal, like honestly, I keep referencing my background, but the graphics kind of look like that. It's just airy and ethereal and just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Kind of makes me want to pick up the first game now too, at some point. I mean, I haven't finished this one yet, but if I should finish it, I know there's another game I can go and play too. I'm starting to feel a little bit guilty about playing so many games though and not finishing them exactly, because I'm still playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and I'm nowhere close to being done that one, but I started playing Ori and I'm like, crap, I haven't finished that one too. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going to be using my Milk Bronzing Stick, which I had to depot into this Lancome tub because my packaging broke on me. And I found I prefer this with like a flat shader brush. Shader brush? What the heck? No, just like a kabuki style brush. Is that right? Probably not. One of these flathead brushes, I feel like it works a little bit better to disperse the product when it's a cream anyway for me. It's also been getting colder here in Toronto. I think I mentioned that last time, but it's getting even more cold now. It's great. I think it's like, today was like about -17 with the wind chill, and I think it's supposed to drop even more in the next week or so. There hasn't been a ton of snow. There's still snow on the ground. We could definitely do with more, but there's been some really cold days that I went out for walks and I was so happy. I haven't been running as much because my lungs aren't used to this temperature of cold yet for running, and I tend to, this is going to sound really bad, but I tend to get that blood in the mouth type taste, like just like copper type taste in the lungs or in the mouth when I run in super cold weather if I haven't acclimatized myself to it. So I've been doing more walks in the cold just so I can get used to, my lungs used to potentially running in it. Because if I just went full hog, it would be, oh, there's like a cat hair here. It's driving me nuts. Ugh. If I went full hog, it would just be not great on my lungs. Okay, so for blush, I wanted to stick with a cream blush because I'm using a cream bronzer and a liquid highlighter as well. And I'm pulling out my, very busted at this point because one of the hinges is broken on the back of this, Stila Convertible Color Palette in Sunset Serenade. And that is what it looks like. And I've got that broken hinge over here, which drives me crazy. And I think I'm just gonna go in with this color right here, which is Gerbera. And then for highlighter, I'm going to be using my CoverFX glitter drops. This is in the shade, I think, Lunar. I lost the sticker on the bottom. And I'm just gonna, that's probably too much, but oh well. Ooh, ooh. Whoops. Should have put it on the back of my hand for sure. Okay, that is face done. Let's zoom back in and finish up the eyes. So for the eyes, I think I'm gonna take some of this Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the shade Distortion and put it over top of the Vellum MAC shade because it's a little bit more purple than I'm wanting and I don't feel like it merges very well into the green. So I'm hoping that layering this on top, which has a little bit more green particles in it, will help. And just like that. Oh yeah, that's like immediately better in my eyes. And then next, I want to take this ColourPop Glitterily Obsessed in the shade Disco Lady, which uncannily matches the colors in the nail polish. If I hold these two up, look at that. Like, that's pretty darn close. So I want to take this and put this on the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just going to grab a flat shader brush, dip in. Don't take too much because stuff like, you really don't need much with it. And then just plop it on the inner corner and then drag up and down. The brightness of the lights is like washing out a little bit of the color. Let me see if I can take down the brightness of my camera to like show you what's going on here. There you can go. You can see a little bit better there. I'm just wrapping it around there. And then pulling some down here as well. Well, in person it's very pretty. It frustrates me that I don't know how to use my camera and the lights that well to like show you exactly what I'm seeing IRL. Hopefully the idea is coming across. For my lower waterline, I want to take the Makeup Forever Aqua XL pencil in the shade M92. I just wanted something like really pale and soft lavender there. Because I'm not putting anything on my lower lash line. Okay, I'm not going to be adding any liquid liner, any liner whatsoever, because I'm not doing false lashes. I want the like eyeshadow stuff to stick out by itself. But I do have something fun to play with in terms of mascara. I was sent the Bite Beauty Upswing Full Volume Mascara. A lot of people have been talking about this recently because I think a lot of PR packages went out. The tube is enormous. This thing is so freaking big. Like, this is bigger than the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I always thought was a rather sizable looking tube. I'm a little bit worried about this though because it's an hourglass shaped wand. And I don't tend to get along with those too much. That's the wand right there. It's rather large. It's an hourglass shape, which I really don't understand how hourglass shape works for anybody. But we're gonna give it a shot. I always feel like I have to be so careful when I'm using big wands to like try not to get too much junk on my upper lid. Okay, so that's one coat. I did curl my lashes because I would have done that regardless. And then coat number two. I have to admit though, I'm not much of a two-coat mascara kind of person. I kind of figured it has to do its job in one. But I want to see what'll happen if I add a second coat. It's definitely thickening them a lot more with the second coat. I do like how the formula feels. I'm not a fan of the brush, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, so that's two coats. I like the one coat on my bottom lash line, or bottom lashes. I actually think it looks really nice on my bottom lashes. As for the mascara itself, seems fine. I obviously have no idea about the longevity of it or anything like that. Two coats definitely does make them stick together a little bit more, so I would probably only ever stick with one. But so far, I like the effect. Okay, what's left? I'm going to do my brows off camera and then I'll come back and we'll finish up with the lips. Okay, for my lips, I'm going to keep it rather simple. I'm going to stick with Bite Beauty. This is the Yay Sayer Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Sugar Drizzle. I can't tell you enough about how much I love this packaging. Just the fact that you can see how much product is actually left because it pushes the product to the top when you're, you know, twizzling it up. I love that. So that is the finished look. It came out sort of similar to what I was expecting, but not quite. I had thought I was going to keep the color a little bit more concentrated on the outer corner, but when it was coming together, I'm like, no, I just keep dragging the color in. I do think the effect on the eyes is quite pretty. I'm so sad that the color and the glitter is just really not showing up because of the lighting and all of that, because it really is kind of like a soft pastel kind of rainbow on the inner corner, and I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, that's going to be it for week 46. We are rapidly approaching the year mark for working from home. I hope everyone is doing well, or as much as you can be. Let me know how your experience has been, I guess, for life in the last year. I'm curious. Not everybody's in my situation, right? Like, I'm fortunate enough to get to work from home, but there's a lot of people who are still going into work day to day, and I know it varies tremendously depending on what country you're in and what your restrictions are. My life really just hasn't changed in the last 10, 11 months, so I'm curious about how other people are doing. Anyway, I hope you're staying happy, safe, and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.